Well, hey, thank you for joining us for the FLC Rewind 2020 series. I'm joined here today with Brian Killstrom. So, Brian, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? How many Subways do you own? Do you lead? How many years have you been with Subway, et cetera?
Great. Thanks for having me, Mike. My name is Brian Killstrom. I'm in the business with my brother, Kevin, my little brother, Kevin. He's a couple years older than me. He is taller than me. Most of you who are watching this might know my parents, probably know my parents, Robert and Joy Killstrom. My dad actually worked for Yonkers in the Quad Cities, a department store. They were getting bought out, and he could kind of see the writing on the wall that he didn't really know where his career was going to go. So we made the family decision to have him quit that job and start his own business. And so he looked at McDonald's, he looked at Taco John's, he looked at coffee places. I do not know how he stumbled on Subway, but he somehow did. Met Jeff Wilhelm, and the rest is history. They opened their first store in the late 80s. My brother and I worked for them in high school. I opened my first store when I was 21 years old in Rock Island. My parents helped me secure some loans for that, and we did that, and we've been doing it ever since. So my brother joined me in the business shortly after that, and we have 6 stores right now, and just kind of going from there.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. And I know your dad is very well respected and loved in that Quad City community, really in the Subway family. And you guys are kind of carrying on that legacy that your parents started. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, Brian. I know that providing an excellent guest experience is something that is important to you and your organization. So why don't you tell me what is good customer service? What does good guest service look like for you and your team?
So to me, good customer service to me is kind of a feeling. It's not really necessarily one thing that I can point to what's good customer service. When we run meetings here and have, store meetings, I always talk about, the places that I've been, different restaurants that offer really good customer service and restaurants that offer terrible customer service. There are some stores in town here, different franchises that offer really, really good customer service. And so I'm kind of comparing us to them all the time. And I know my brother feels the same way, we want people to come in and just feel comfortable immediately. We want to be like your neighborhood, local sub shop. I know that's how my parents did it when they first opened. The amount of loyal and regular customers that we have is incredible. And we want people to come in. We want to know their names. We want them to be smiling. We want them to be joking around. We want them to feel definitely appreciated. Yeah. And like they are really important to us. So good customer service can be just remembering somebody's name, a nice smile at the end, a genuine thank you. It can be a million things, but you know it when you see it. And I guess if you're the customer, you know it, you can feel it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like that. Good service. Gosh, it could be so many different things. Holding the door open when a customer's walking in, or giving them a friendly greeting when they walk in, or you said, smiling, and I kind of to sum that up, someone had said, someone in the Subway family had said that their goal was always to make it the best part of that customer's day when they walked in to your restaurant. And that's exactly what you're describing. That's exactly what your team is doing. So I think that's awesome. And providing a good customer service obviously doesn't just happen within the 4 walls of our restaurant. It goes beyond that. And your team had a successful catering program. So tell me how you've developed, how would one develop a strong catering program, or just what does good service look like even within a catering program?
So when my parents first opened, I'm at our Locust Street location in Davenport, Iowa right now. When they first opened this location that I'm at, we were lucky. I guess it's not lucky, it was strategic, really. We were by 3 big schools, St. Ambrose University, Palmer College of Chiropractic, and then there was a Mary Crest University at the time. Yeah. We wanted to be by these schools so we could really get in good with the coaches and the sports teams. And we've had extremely good luck with, developing long-term relationships with these coaches here. And they know that I'm going to be around. I'll give you an example. Our Rock Island store is right next to Augustana College.
Hmm.
And I started early on with the track team and the football teams, making all their stuff when they would go on road trips. And the coaches would call me and they would say, I got an order for you on Saturday. I'm like, great. And pick up, it might be 5:30 a.m. So I made it my plan and part of my job to just take those over. I didn't want to ask my employees to be there at 3 in the morning, or, me myself wake up in the morning at 3 in the morning and wonder if they're going to be there. So I just kind of did that myself. And just doing that over the years and just really being available for these coaches and these teams to know that we're going to be there whenever they need us. And that has really, made the big difference in how we interact with those schools. And they know that I'm going to be there, and they know they can count on us every time. So,
and not everyone will necessarily have their restaurant that is, has 3 colleges nearby, but the application is really just getting connected and plugged into your community, whether it's grade schools or high schools or first responders or whatever it may be. We probably all have an opportunity or two that we're currently not taking advantage of, me included, of partners in our community that we could go and drop off a platter and a menu, or a platter of cookies and a menu. And so I think that's the important part, is getting plugged into the community that you guys have done so well.
Right.
So Brian, you mentioned your little brother, Kevin. He's not so little.
No.
We're going to be interviewing Kevin too here. So before I let you go, I'm just curious, who makes the better sandwich, you or Kevin?
Oh, definitely me. He's going to tell you definitely him. But yeah, he actually is pretty good. So I will have to say.
Yeah, well, we'll second best that, I guess. Brian, for obvious reasons, I've been asking every franchisee this, but for obvious reasons, the year 2020 is a challenge and will continue to be a challenge. And so I'm just curious, what are some ways that you are staying and remaining positive during this year? It's
super hard to be positive. And I watched some of your other interviews, and I was noting what Dwayne said about, he's trying to be even keel and everything. I wear my emotions on my sleeve, so it's really hard for me to come in. If I'm having an off day or if I'm feeling down, it's really hard for me to keep those emotions in check. But I have this whole year, I've been really trying to work on myself, I guess, and be, try put myself in a position to be the best leader I can be. So whether that be podcasts or, audiobooks or reading books or working out or doing this, I'm trying to stay positive by making myself the best that I can be, and then just kind of have that trickle down to my employees as well.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I wonder, you and I maybe deal with stress in similar ways. You said podcasts, I would check that box, or reading is something that I do to kind of de-stress. Working out is huge as well. Yesterday I was watching the Bears game and had my tablet up while I was running on my treadmill. And so, it could look different for all of us, whether it's reading or knitting or what. Kevin probably knits, doesn't he? That's probably his thing. But
make mittens.
Yeah. But I mean, I think just the important part is, and that's why I asked that question. And I think one of the important parts of that is just figuring out what that is for us, and then making sure that we set the time aside to do that, just to relax and take our mind off of whether it's work or our P&Ls or maybe whatever other challenges are happening within the 4 walls of our restaurant, or politics, or whatever it may be. That is so important for us to just give our brains a break from all of the hustle and bustle of the year.
And Dwayne mentioned it too. Laughing is huge. My brother and I have the same sense of humor, and in our office we have desks and we look right at each other, and we are always laughing about something, and we carry that out to the employees as well. So we really try, because everything, they're all kind of feeding off my energy, and so anytime I can get my employees laughing and really having a good time at the job and at work, the better it's going to be for me and for them and for the customers.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Well, Brian, hang around for a second here. I'm going to wrap up the interview here. So I want to say thank you to you on behalf of the franchisees and the managers that are watching and taking note. I want to say thanks for joining us and let me do this interview. And then for our audience, thank you for tuning in. You're going to be hearing from Brian's brother, his little brother, Kevin. We'll be asking him who makes the better sub. We'll also be asking him about his knitting club as well. So you guys stick around for more to come and have a good day. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.